Ant McPartlin and Declan Donnelly have a number of famous pals, but the strangest of all has to be Prince Charles. The cheeky Geordie duo became close friends with the future king during a surreal experience in 2015 where they followed him around for a documentary. They have also been host of the Prince's Trust Awards, with this year's ceremony being broadcast tonight on ITV for the first time, for a decade. The Britain's Got Talent hosts spent a great deal of time with the Prince back in 2015 for the film When Ant and Dec Met the Prince, 40 Years of the Prince's Trust, and even got to stay the night at one of his homes. After several months filming, Charles invited the pair to stay at Dumfries House in Ayrshire, which was bought by a consortium headed by Charles in 2007, where they were greeted by butlers and put in rooms right next to their royal host. Ant admitted it got very bizarre when he bumped into Prince Charles outside his room, with the presenter just in his dressing gown. Get the news you want straight to your inbox. Sign up for a Mirror newsletter here. M stood in a robe, in his house, in the middle of the day, explained Ant. He smiled, I smiled, then I did the only thing I could. I slowly backed into my room, closed the door and silently screamed into a pillow. They were so close that they worried they would wake Charles up with their boozy late-night partying. The pair continued, we shared a butler and as we were going to bed he asked if we'd like anything else and we asked for 2 bottles of wine. We then got drunk with our wives but we were very conscious that Charles was down the corridor, so as we got louder every now and again one of us would go, shush, he's in bed. It was very bizarre. Despite being advised otherwise beforehand, the lads found themselves getting a little too excited and over-familiar with His Royal Highness during production. Protocol-wise, we did occasionally forget stuff, confessed Ant. I did find myself getting a bit over-familiar and grabbing His Royal Highness and slapping him on the back a bit. I had to keep stopping myself. Luckily for the boys, they needn't have worried about messing up their lines as the Prince struggles to understand their Geordie accents. We had no issues with his accent, but I think he may have had a few with mine, added Ant. I would ask him a question and sometimes he would just smile. Then Dec would ask the same question and get a full answer. According to Ant, he had to keep snapping up any food His Royal Highness was offered during filming to avoid any awkward rejection. The Biker Grove star then inadvertently fell into the role of Charles' chief taste tester. I took it upon myself to step in and try any food he was offered, just to help avoid the awkwardness, explained Ant. I could tell him what it was like, it would get him off the hook. Plus the host gets their food eaten and I get a free lunch. Everyone's a winner. After a few functions, I put on approximately half a stone. To show just how close they became, Ant invited Charles to Dec's stag do ahead of his 2015 marriage to Aaliyah Stall. Unfortunately, the royal turned down the offer of getting drunk with the lads, but he did send Dec a handwritten letter and touching wedding gift. Dec wrote, when I got married in 2015, and got in touch with HRH. He politely declined the stag do. But he did send a handwritten letter to Ali and me as well as a lovely wedding gift, a set of placemats that were all watercolors had painted himself. In their book, Once Upon a Time, the pair spoke about having dinner at Buckingham Palace, and they cheekily tried to get a souvenir. We were ridiculously excited to be going to Buckingham Palace for the first time for dinner, they wrote. We were shown into the main hall and Rod Stewart was there, so we headed over to say hi to him, while keeping our eyes peeled for potential souvenirs. Deck said, "We noticed the only possible available trinket to nick, liberate, was on the Christmas tree. We'd heard a lot of stories about people liberating a memento when they go there." And explained, liberating a memento means nicking something, an ashtray, a toilet roll with a coat of arms, a full suit of armor, that kind of thing. And what struck us when we arrived was that there really wasn't that much there to nick, liberate, either because they've got wise to the Memento Liberation Brigade or because, if it's not nailed down, it's already been pinched by some opportunistic celebrity. Last May, Charles made a cheeky joke about his Geordie pals following him around during a surprise appearance on The One Show. He recorded a video message for the duo as he was helping launch a joint initiative to help young people secure jobs, the Ant and Dec's Making It in Media project. The Prince of Wales said, "I can think of no better duo to help drive this activity than Ant and Dec, who have enjoyed an illustrious career in the media for over 30 years. During that time, they've both followed me around. They followed me around while filming a documentary for ITV." He continued, "And they've also played an incredibly generous part in our annual Prince's Trust Awards event in London. So thank you, Ant and Dec, more than I can ever say, for all your wonderful efforts on behalf of the young people who will be supported by this project. Do you have a story to share? Email webfeatures@trinitymirror.com.